I do here another episode on Christmas lights, on how I put them away and getting them ready for next year. As you can tell, they're just all stretched out. And here's what I do. When gather your lights together, you should just have them lay on top of each other like this. And then just start folding them back and forth. But first I'm going to show you something. What I do is I use a cable tie, and I store it on the end of the string, and I like to lay one part down like this, one part down like this, and then fold that over, just bend it 90 degrees and just start wrapping it around. I'll just start wrapping it around like this. I mean, it doesn't really matter if it just, as long as you can find the end. And see, and I just put that like right there. And if I have this little end, I either leave it right here or I'll fold it over. But I fold it over. So that way next spring I can just undo that and just untwist it. Let me show you. This is okay. This is how I find. This is how it is. I take it off, whatever it is that I'm doing. You know, like this. I just take it off, and I just every other light, right here. This one, skip this one. Skip this one. Do this one. Skip this one. Do this one. Skip. Bring this one in. Bring this one up. Bring this one in. Bring this one up. This in, up, 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 in, up. Okay, it goes up. And it goes in. And then tails, just sometimes I'll leave them like that, or I'll bring them in. Sorry, I am having a cold. Sorry, I have a cold. And see, now all I have to do is just, I can leave it in my hands. And as you can see, right there, I know exactly which one it is. It goes down, around, and then just untwists. And then keeping them in my fingers. And then I just twist them together. I'm actually left-handed, so I just twist them together. And this way they can just sit anywhere, pick them up. I can have a whole bucket of these, and I know exactly. I can see the string. I can see how long it is by how bulky it is. I can see the spacing between the strings. I can see if there's any missing lights before I even put them up. And then that way they're not just flopping all around. So that's it on this part. Now let me show you what I do on trees. Now this is how, now we're starting on this branch right here. I take the end and I stick it underneath. So I have to take this off. And then just unwrap. But what I do while I'm doing this to keep them from getting all tangled and getting a big giant mess, just like what I did before, I just put them in my hand like this. And then there's a point, and taking them down where I just wrap. I just wrap them around like this. This is just a quick method. It kind of does the same thing as the way I store the lights, because as you just take them down, as I'm just taking them down, just like what I did before, just like what the way I don't like to store them. I just wrap them around, and then, as you can see, I just wrap them around like this, and then plug these two into each other, and just make sure there's plenty of extra. Just make sure it's a little loose, so you're not really pulling on the wires. So, and then see, I can just plop them on the ground and just find the other end. And if you're having a problem with trying to find an end because you're taking down someone else's lights, just find the end. Just you look for it. If you have a string that burns out, there's been times when I've done wrap overs, but not here, and it makes it worse. It makes it harder to take them down, because then you got two ends and you don't know which one is which. It's just easier to take off the string that may burn, that's burned out, or you're having problems with. For some reason, you have to take them down. And see, I'm not even thinking about it. I'm just going around like this. See, two different brands of lights. See, now I can just gently do that. And then I'm all ready. I can go sit down. I can just plop them down, plug the two ends together, make sure that you have plenty of loose wires so you don't pull the wires out, and they can just sit on top of each other. And then let's go and do this branch right here. See, my hand's right here. See, easy finding it. It's snug, but not so snug. And if you want to wrap a branch, that'll be it for another video. I'll just show you how I put them up in a different video. That'll just, how I put them up is in a different video. I'll show you my little tricks of the trade, things that I've done myself, and things that I've learned from working for the city. This is just my parents' place. Yeah, I still live with my parents. Exciting, huh? Just like this. Just plug them in together, like I right there. Just plug them in. Make sure to see it nice and loose. And now I will show you how I show you how by doing this, they can just be sit down, see, throwing them around, they're not coming undone. Just a second. There, now you guys have a better view. See? But I wouldn't recommend storing them this way, just because if you try to put them up, it won't work out. At least it doesn't work for me. I mean, if you guys, it works for you, then great. But see, I can unravel them. See, you set them on top of the other one, and that's how they sit. And just so you know, the wire, I either put it on the plug end or the female end. Just same thing. On this string of lights, when I start, I always start with the female end. Reason being is a lot of it has to do with just old habits, but usually I'm starting at this end, right here, the male end. You'll find that you usually start at the plug, so you can get a good idea of how it's just easier to start. Now on this string right here, when you got extra tail, and yes, I had this finished a few minutes ago, I will take and fold it down like I do the other ones, just like this. If you couldn't see before, bring that one in, and just like this. And just twist them together. If you got one that's a little short, like this one is, I mean, still have to twist them together, but I usually will just do a couple of rounds. But it's make sure that even though this tail comes around here, that this tail also comes around. So you're not having one that's straight and one that's just wrapped around the other one. So it's something like, so it looks something like this, and if you're not sure, just fold both of them down. Because it is real easy just to do one over the other. If you're not paying attention. Probably happens to me once every 3 years on one string. But if you notice, see, I got all 3 strings. 150, 60 lights. And I can just toss them around. You do want to be careful because you don't want to have the light bulb loosen out. And I wouldn't do that with an incandescence unless you're on grass. You can toss them around. I like to have. Now back to this little problem that I just noticed. Is, see, if it's not tight enough, I would suggest just twisting it like this, and then see, it just solves the problem. Yeah, to ensure, yeah, you do need them long enough, but if they are, you can squeeze them together a little bit more. Just use your hand and squeeze them, and then you can just grab the two. Just grab the two like this. Okay, I'm gonna make sure you guys can see it. Put that, and then just twist. I use my sense of touch to wrap them. But if they're nice and tight, there's a good chance that the tie, the tie won't slide off. If they're loose, the tie will slide off. But see, I just can put them all in one pile, and I can plop them in a bucket, and then just start stringing them. I'll give you an. I think I showed you in another video of how they just can come undone, and do the tie. And then put it on like I showed you. But I will just set that there, and then just come undone. What I will do, I'll show you my putting up video later. But it's just how easy they are about coming undone. They stay just like this, even if you put them, just put them on a shelf and they fall down. They fall down on the floor or behind the shelf, or you didn't get them quite put in the container. Let's see, just squeeze them together. And this is my video on how I put away and store my Christmas lights. You know what? And I forgot. I do out. And don't forget this is. Okay, I do out. Do more. You're great. And just keep on plugging away. Just never stop trying to do the right thing. See you on my next video.